I haven't been doing too much vlogging, too sick with this vertigo stuff. And then I get antibiotics, makes it worse. So, yeah. Anyway, I showed you hamburgers today. My brother wanted me to make hamburgers today. But I just went to wound care. And now I gotta sit in the van, because if I move my head or close my eyes for any length of time, the world starts going crazy. Okay, so as at Mom and Dad's house, the radio was playing. Anyway, we're making hamburgers. I have some Worcestershire sauce. There you go. There's the bottle. Just a little bit. Dump it in there. There's just over 2 pounds of lean ground beef in there. And I'm doing better today, the day after I made these hamburgers, than when I had finished the hamburgers yesterday. Okay, the best quality, all-purpose seasoning, Canadian made. Look at that. I'm like, woo, Canadian flag. So I'm going to use that to season eventually when I get to work in there. There we go. And in it goes. Oh, maybe a tablespoon and a half. That's in there. Next we'll be coming with flavor enhancer, also known as MSG. You find I didn't add salt or pepper because you really didn't need to, because it's already in the all-purpose seasoning. Although there's some Spanish onion been minced up in my mini food processor there. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put some more of that onion back in there. Right about now. And I dropped a big piece in the meat and I haven't noticed it yet, but I do find that and pull it out eventually. So we're going to go mince that up. And we're back after mincing. So there's lots of onion in there on top of the spice that's in the onion powder that's in the all-purpose seasoning. And then Mama's got some minced garlic in the jar. There it goes. A teaspoon and a half and a quarter. There's another 2 teaspoons. There you go, minced garlic. We get from the Dollarama here in Canada. The no-name, fully cooked bacon, real bacon bits that were made in the USA, which I didn't notice when I bought them, but okay. We're still Canadians working the stores. So we're mixing this together. We need it to come together. Ideally, my brother wanted some blue cheese inside some of these burgers, but yeah, I didn't really feel like doing that. So I had my mom slice the blue cheese and put it in a plate, and we could put it beside the burgers. So if you wanted the blue cheese, you could have the blue cheese. And if you didn't want it, you didn't have to worry about it. And I didn't have to smell it cooking. Sorry, but no thanks. So it's starting to come together nicely. But now, as I'm doing this, that Spanish onion is being vicious to my poor eyes, because it didn't want to be eaten. So it's sending out its protective things of those scents that make your eyes shut and tear up. So I have to ask my mother for some eggs to be cracked into my meat here, because I can't see. My eyes are shut. I think that's what I'm doing now. There she is. There she is. Eggs. I thought that's how she was cracking them, tapping them against each other. I didn't know, though. I'm like, I can't see, because I had my eyes shut. I think that one was a double yolker, because I swear I got 4 yolks when I went and split them up. Not 100% sure, though, because my eyes were barely working. So, I I could see that one. Squish it up. Squish up that one. I want to squish up them yolks. I'm not sure if that was 2 yolks or if I just split one in half. Anyway, so we're going back to mixing. I don't know how many of you know this, but I absolutely hate mixing things by hand, because it gets all over my hands. And I don't like it. It's a texture thing. I like to cook. Cooking's great. That hand thing, ugh. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this the next day is after I went and had my bandage changed done the day of the burgers, just as I was getting up from that, I had got hit with some severe vertigo, and then I went lightheaded, and it would not leave. And the entire rest of the day. There's a teaspoon of baking soda has gone into that, because if you add your half a teaspoon of baking soda per pound of meat, it helps retain the meat's moisture. And then you don't get dry burgers. I just recently learned this. Anyway, we got the meat for $4.77 a pound. So it's lean ground, so that's a good deal. I'm not sure why I'm holding my hand so still there. Oh, my thumb moved. I think we were discussing the frying pan. I'm not sure. Anyway, I wanted to use a cast iron frying pan I wanted it to be big enough to hold 3 burgers. And it's exactly the size they had at their house, so I didn't have to bring mine. Mine holds 4 burgers. And then I wanted just a little bit of breadcrumbs, maybe 3/4 of a cup, just to be assured that the wouldn't be too much moisture, so that the meat would stay in its proper form once I shape it into patties. And then I was having a heck of a time with them breadcrumbs. They did not want to incorporate. Or maybe it was just my fingers. Anyway, during this, we're listening to music, and that's why I got the audio extracted here, because we had our radio station on, and they were playing some country music. Squish the meat around, keep squishing that breadcrumbs in, mixing in all the onions and garlic and seasonings. Starting to come together, see that? Picked it all up out of the thing. Now trying to get all this off my fingers. Oh, I hate that part. There, see, look. Ew. I showed the camera all that gucky on my fingers. And it was cold. Oh, it was cold. My fingers were freezing cold because the meat was cold and the eggs were cold and the garlic was cold. Everything was cold. Anyway, I'm not sure what we're discussing here. But then there's the first patty being formed. Now, between, it was like $9.36 for the pack of ground beef at $4.77 a pound. So that puts it around about 2 pounds of meat. And then 3 eggs, and 3/4 cup breadcrumbs. And I made 12 patties out of that. So I thought I did a pretty good job. And they're all about the same size once you see how size they get here. I think I show you making the first 3. Because, you don't really want me to watch me make all 12. If you've seen one hamburger patty making, you've seen hamburger patty making. You don't need me to keep repeating it for you. Although I do have a Tupperware burger press, I chose to use my hands. Probably because they're still like meaty and sticky from everything in there. Now, if I was a smart person, which apparently I wasn't that day, at that moment, I should have showed you the whole patty made. Beautiful patties. I think I made nice patties. I started out with a handful of meat, almost too big of a ball to hold in my one hand, as you just saw there for a split second. I can't see what the camera sees because I got it facing the other way around. Like usually I have it in like selfie mode. But this time well, that's why I can't use my hamburger press. It's holding up the camera with my little tripod that has I'll have to take a picture of it. It has little ball things in it. You can turn it around and have it grip onto things. So it's holding the camera. The hamburger press says. And the tripod. Well, it's holding my phone, which is my camera. Let's see, there we go. We got another ball of meat. Add a little bit more meat to that one. Or maybe take some off, I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit of both. And pretty soon I'll have my third patty ready here for cooking. Somebody snitched something off the table. There you go. There, I showed you one. That's a nice size patty. And even if you squish them really flat, they still puff up and look the same size as all of them. Oh, look, adding a little more meat. Maybe a little less meat. And there's the meat. See, I've made 3 patties already, and it still doesn't look like I've really taken much out of that bowl. And there's me trying to get more of that off my hands. Suppose I could have cut more of that out. Anyway. And there's the frying pan. Now, Mom didn't have very many choices of oil, so I ended up using the canola spray. Too bad I had to cut the audio here because the sizzle was on point. Right. There. It was sizzling. As you can see, it just is going to fit 3 of my burger patties into that one frying pan. And we're still using the hamburger press holding the tripod. There you go. Look at that. They're in the pan. They fit perfect. Come back in a minute. Should I flip them boys over? I had Dad turn the light on. I told him not to climb up, turn the light on. He told me, "Who made you my boss? I want a raise." Anyway, so he did it. And thank you, Dad, for turning the light on. And now we can see the burgers as I flip them. See, they're holding their shape pretty good, so I think I had a perfect ratio of meat to egg to breadcrumb. My brother's not a fan of filler, so that's why I used a lot less than I usually would. And a lot more meat than I usually would. I don't mind filler. I find it tastes good. I did put a lid on it to help with cooking the centers because they are pretty thick burgers. And they're just sizzling away. They're so happy in that pan. Look at that. Just flip them over. Look at that. Look at that nice. The best sear yet's on the next one. She's nice and blacky. See, look at that. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, they're cooking up nicely. They're not losing too much of their size because they're puffing up instead of spreading out. Not sure what I'm doing there, fiddling. I'm moving them around so they all get a better sear, I think. Yeah, I'm touching them there. I don't press them down because you don't press them down and then you lose all your moisture. And that would be silly. I gotta put the lid back on there, I think. Yeah. And I didn't put it on right so it wasn't sitting center because it doesn't quite fit. So it scared the heck out of me when it banged. Let's see. Am I flipping them or taking them out? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm flipping them anyway. Beautiful sear on that one side. I always got a sear on both sides now. Look at that. Nice and pretty. We are cooking on a gas flame here, which is really nice. I missed that. I have an electric stove at home. Mom and Dad have the gas flame, both sides with the griddle in the middle. You'd think pretty soon I'd be taking these off of there. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I think Mom was going to go ahead and... No, not yet, she doesn't. But she does eventually go ahead and turn on her air fryer to keep them warm. I think we were discussing the boys. Because my brother and my hubby went out to the Home Depot to get some stuff to extend the eaves trough for my mom and dad. So my brother brought a crew of a couple guys down, and I think we were discussing if they should come in the house where it was a little bit warmer than to sit outside doing nothing anyway. I don't know if they're doing anything or not. She took forever when she went out there. I don't know what she was doing. Did you see how thick that was? Turned it on its side there. It's nice and thick. Okay, I got a kick out of it there when we were eating them, and I was explaining how much meat I got from, how many burgers I got from the meat that we bought. There's a second batch going in. And one of my brother's crew there says, oh, there's the burger.